watching. You are watching.
You're watching. You guys are watching.
You're watching Soulful Discussion.
All right, so hi, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And so, how did our paths cross today? How did we just meet?
I was sitting underneath a tree, and you walked up to me and asked me about recording a video.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's the video going to be about? What are we going to talk about today?
About reflexology and mental health and wellness.
One other one?
Wellness?
No.
Feet.
There you go.
Yes.
Good job. All right, and so in terms of mental health, are there any topics that you like research, you follow closely, or anything like that?
Well, I study psychology, so I'm all about mental health.
Sweet.
So.
Okay, cool.
So I study a lot of things about just like holistic wellness and how do you be well in your whole body, mind, body, spirit. So not just, focus on one part of the body.
Yeah. And I got that vibe from you when I walked up. You were like under the tree. You were like, your shoes off. You're just like sitting there relaxing.
Yeah.
So I kind of got that holistic vibe from you. So today's like the topics we're going to talk about, like it has to deal with like anxiety and depression in terms of the mental health. So might be some helpful information. You might learn something new today, or it might be a refresher. So what about reflexology? Is that something you're familiar with? Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, I have heard about it.
Okay.
I know there's like different pressure points in your body that correlate with different parts of like your internal body.
Yeah.
So I do know something about it.
Cool.
I'm not an expert in anything.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. Well, the information I'll provide today might once again be a refresher or maybe more extensive information. So hopefully we get you there.
Yeah.
Let's start with these questions. Okay. What's something that you like that other people might find to be weird? And I'm using that term weird for a reason. It doesn't necessarily have to be weird, but maybe a hobby you have or something like that other people might look at strange.
I like to walk barefoot places.
Okay.
That might be a little strange.
So you're into grounding and earthing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I like to be outdoors without shoes on.
Okay.
So I think that sometimes that's weird because I was like, why is she having shoes on?
Yeah.
But I think it's just important to like connect with the earth. And,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Absolutely cool.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever made you feel insecure about your body or a body part?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, more of like, I think societal pressures are more of a thing than
beauty
like
complex industry.
Yeah,
right?
more of like personally because I feel like I'm kind of my own individual and I'm perfect the way I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've gotten to that point in my life, but also I know
you
it's
still
like,
get that
I
pressure
still
from
see
outside.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. If there was one thing you could change about yourself, right, and it doesn't have to be physical, what would it be?
What's one thing that I would change about myself? Maybe how introverted I can be sometimes.
Okay, so you tend to be somebody who...
Yeah,
okay.
I stick to myself.
I'm actually, and believe it or not, I'm out doing these interviews and I'm approaching like, strangers, but like I'm more of an introvert, and so this was actually a way for me to like kind of get out of that, to like just go out and like talk to people and see what comes from it. So and like you're not doing right now, you're talking to me on YouTube, so this is a little bit coming out of that comfort zone, right? So that's cool. Okay, so let's get into these questions. How do you feel about your feet? What are your thoughts?
I like my feet.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't dislike them. They carry me places. They get me to where I need to get to.
Yeah.
And, I like to paint my toes, so
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Has anyone ever given you compliments on your feet before? Anybody said you had nice feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we talking men, women?
Men.
Men.
Yeah.
How did that compliment make you feel like when they came up and said you
I
had
was
nice
like,
feet?
oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think anything? Like, would any thoughts come to mind?
I mean, I know some people like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, okay.
And I say it because like, so some people when that compliment comes about, like some people feel weird and they're like, oh, well, why is this person like focused on my feet? But like, I try to get people to understand. I'm like, so if they were complimenting you on your hair, they said you had nice eyes, they said your hands were nice, or whatever it is, it's still a compliment, right? So compliments are designed to make us feel better, so that's what it's all about. So I like what you said. That's great. That's great. How would you feel if you started to date someone, all right? And before I get there, actually, is there a difference in the feelings that you have between a compliment you get from a man and from a woman, and not just about your feet, but just in general, like compliments you receive from them? Is there a difference?
I wouldn't say there's that that much of a difference for me. Like
Okay.
a compliment to compliment, and
Okay.
I usually take it as such unless it's like weird.
Yeah.
You know, like
So it depends on the context of the
yeah,
actual. Okay.
yeah. But a
And-
compliment, when I think of a compliment, there's something saying something nice.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I like giving compliments to people, whether it's a man or a female.
Yeah,
like, oh, you
exactly.
have nice, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it may be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I asked that because I interviewed someone before, and she said that a lot of times women are taught from like a young age to like dislike and hate on it, each other, like from societal pressures, like you're in competition, about things. And so when you get older and you receive compliments from women, like those are more sincere. They, it seems like it's coming from a better place. Whereas men tend to give compliments because they want something in return. Is that something you agree with, or?
I mean, I could definitely see that,
Mm-hmm.
and have probably experienced that.
Yeah.
Because I do probably get more compliments from men
Yeah,
than women.
Yeah. So it's a rare occasion, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
I try to give, like, for myself personally, I try to give more compliments
Yeah.
to women because I know that's like a thing.
Yeah.
But also, I could see the correlation of that. Like, usually men will say something because they want to talk to you, or they wanted to go somewhere else.
They wanted to go somewhere else, exactly. Yeah. So now here we go. So what would your thoughts be on if you started dating somebody who's into feet? Like, would that be something you're for, or?
I mean, as long as I'm into them for other reasons.
And this is what we're talking about. So when I ask that question, a lot of times they're like, a lot of women, they're like, oh,
I'm like, did he approach me just because?
Well, and that's what they're like. Oh, okay. So are we talking about like a heavy fetish? And I'm like, no, we're talking about admiration. So he loves you for you.
Yeah.
But that's just something he likes.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And in terms of when you first start dating someone, when is the appropriate time for you two to talk about the things that you're into? When do you think that is?
I mean, I think it's important initially.
Okay.
I mean, not like super soon. You want to get to know each other and whatever. But like, if you're gonna be intimately involved, then you should have a conversation about
and that's
what's something you like.
Exactly. And so that's what I get. So I have had some women say that it depends on like how serious the relationship is, because like if it's just like a one-time thing, you don't really want to share those types of things with people. But if it's going to be something where you see yourself like with this person for a long period of time, you want to start getting into sharing that type of stuff, right?
Yes.
Cool.
And even if it, thinking even if it's a one-time thing, shouldn't that be a conversation you have?
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm like, because I'm like, do you, like, should you discuss that? Or, I mean, because if you're only going to see that person at one time,
you want it to be something that you enjoy
and
them to enjoy, so.
You make a great point. So how often do you get pedicures?
Not often.
Okay. So you do your own self-care?
Yeah.
So would you say if you could, like, sum up the amount of times you go in a year, how many times would it be? Could you count it on one hand?
A pedicure? Yeah, I could probably count it on one hand. Yeah, I'm not one to go get my nails done.
Okay.
Like, because it was always something that I would just mess up afterwards. Because I'm not like.
Well, you did say like you like to walk around barefoot and stuff like that. So
I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of money on something that I know I could do myself, and I can just care for, do my own care.
Okay. How often do you wear open-toe shoes, sandals, flip-flops, things like that?
All the time.
All the time?
Usually. Unless I lived somewhere, I used to live somewhere where it was cold, so you kind of can't, like, necessarily.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So you said you're into earthing and grounding, right? Have you ever heard of earth runners before?
So people who run barefoot?
No, they're earth runners. They're a type of shoe. So they're a shoe that has like a grounding peg in it. It like allows people like to feel like that same type of feeling they would get being barefoot. So I interviewed a lady before, that's why I know about it, and she mentioned that. So it has a grounding peg at the bottom, and it like helps you feel that same energy you would feel like if you were like actually grounded to the earth.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. How often do you go barefoot? Well, you said like
as much as possible.
You've already said as much as possible. Okay. So now, can we see what your feet look like up close?
I mean, they're probably a little dry right now.
Okay. Put them here. Put them here. And what size shoe? Let me try to get out of that sun a little bit.
What size should I wear? A 10?
Size 10? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're about maybe 5'7", 5'8". I would
5'7".
imagine. Okay.
Yeah, 5'6", 5'7".
Okay.
Yeah.
And let me get you to extend your feet straight out so we can see the bottom. Yeah. And you've been walking around. You've been in the crowd. All right. So how you feeling so far? We're going through this interview process.
I feel
Looking
good.
at your feet. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. So let's get into the mental health. Can you leave them here? We're gonna go through a couple more exercises. So let's get into the mental health of why I got started.
Okay.
Right? So I was watching a guy's channel, like I told you, during quarantine, and he was talking about DBT. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay, so dialectical behavioral therapy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's for people who suffer from anxiety and depression. It's people who like don't tend to live in the moment, right? They overthink like situations that they're presented with, and so therapists prescribe for these people. Let's say you have a fear of approaching strangers. They want you to go out and do that over and over again, right? Exposure therapy, so that you can get used to the uncomfortable feelings that come along with that, and they want you to cope with that. And so that when you're in the middle of that and you start to feel those uncomfortable urges, you cope with it and you ask yourself, what's the worst that's going to happen, right, in that actual situation? And if there's not a threat to your life or to your safety, you should proceed, because you could experience like good events, good moments, things like that, right? So I started doing that because like I heard about that and I was like, man, that's really good. And this is a way for me to do it too, because like I said, I haven't, in the past, I'm more of an introvert. So going out and doing that just to see how it works, so that's pretty cool. So what are your thoughts about DBT, and like, do you think it's helpful for people?
Yeah, I do think that people can often get in their heads a lot about certain things and worry, and so I think to have a tool to use in order to shift your mind to something different, to something more positive. I'm all for it.
Absolutely. And so, like I said, a lot of people I go up and talk to, sometimes they're nervous, when we get into this, but as the interview goes along, it's designed to test the comfort level, but to also make you feel comfortable, like while we're in the minute, because this is supposed to be a discussion, which is why my channel is called Soleful Discussions. So it's just us sitting here having a talk, share our opinions, how you feel, and just talk about it. So let's talk about the reflexology. You said you're kind of familiar with it, not too much. So it's the pressure points like you were talking about, and so a lot of these pressure points are in our hands and feet, right? You have all these different nerve endings in your foot, and all of these nerve endings and pressure points correlate to different parts of your body. So through massage, acupuncture, things like that, you can alleviate stress and tension. So if you're dealing with migraines, if you're somebody who suffers from that, you can massage a portion of your foot, start to alleviate a lot of that tension that you're feeling in your head. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something you're for?
Yeah, I'm all for.
Have you ever had that done before? You said you've had what'd you have done before? Did you say acupuncture? I don't know if I remember.
No, I have experienced it at I took a class about body.
Oh, okay.
Body healing. Different things, and it was like called somatics or something. So like it was there was different things, like you could do tapping, but also there's like.
I see.
Yeah, there's just the pressure points of you like just pressing and holding, or so I've just experienced a little bit of stuff like that. But as far as having someone do it who's like a specialist in reflexology, I've never, I guess, had that done.
Would that be something that you would try in the future? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm down to try.
Anything that could be helpful, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, with that being said, since we reached the reflexology portion, how ticklish are you?
I don't think I'm too ticklish.
Not too ticklish?
I mean, I don't know.
Let's say scale 1 to 10. What do you think?
Maybe like 5.
Like a 5?
Yeah.
Would you mind if we tested it on camera?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, like.
Extend your feet. All right. We're going to go right to left, and then I want you to tell me, like, one's usually more sensitive. It should be, okay? Tell me which one it is. Okay, can you, like, put your feet up straight like this? No, leave them
like
here.
this.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I can get it right in front. All right, and so right first, okay? And ticklish?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it more in the sole? I mean, right here in the arch, bottom, top, right here?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say it is in terms of that sensitivity? Because you said like a 5. Is it a 5 or is it more?
A 5.
A 5?
I don't know.
It's more?
Yeah,
it's more than
it
a
could
5?
be more than
Like what, a 7?
6.
6? Okay, so let's try this one and you tell me if this one is more or less, okay? And
okay.
Is it more?
More.
More? And you said that one's like a 6, so is this one like a 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Now I want you to try something for me and tell me if it seems like it's more that you feel or less. I want you to wiggle your toes and tell me if you feel it more.
I feel less.
Less? You should. So when your body's in motion, you tend to get like less of that, like those feelings, those sensations. So that's why your foot's in motion like that. So let's try it here. And less too?
Yeah.
Good. Now let me get you to do a couple exercises. This is a test to see if you have any ligament or bone damage, okay? Get you to put your feet together, okay? And let me have you bend your toes over and like make a fist. Any pain, discomfort from that? Okay, relax. Okay. Spread your toes and tell me if you feel any pain or discomfort. Anything? Okay, relax. Okay, last thing, wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel anything. Pretty easy, not too hard. Cool. All right. And so, went through that. You said the right foot was a 6. This one was a 7, maybe a little bit higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel during that? What were your feelings going through your mind?
I like being tickled.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Because it's supposed to be like a stimulation, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you like that feeling then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I like to laugh, I think.
Yeah, that's good. And you know what I tell people too, like in terms of laughing,
Yeah.
it's a part of like helpful mental health, right?
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
the more you laugh,
Yeah.
the more you tend to be like more relaxed and things like that. So that's actually
I have
absolutely
someone on Instagram who does laughter meditations,
great.
and it's just cute. It's about laughing.
That's
just
sweet.
laughing.
I like
you know,
that.
it's just like, 'cause it lifts your mood.
It does. It's supposed to. That's the whole
yeah.
point, man. That's great.
Yeah.
So let's get to the end of the interview, okay? So we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on my approach when I walked up to you? I know you were on the phone. I didn't know.
No,
But
it's okay.
what were your thoughts in terms of how I approached you? Was it good? Was it bad? Is there something I can work on?
It was good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't usually mind as long as someone walks up to me and says anything crazy.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I was like,
absolutely.
all right, you have YouTube channel, and I saw your little ball
Yeah,
thing.
my little mic here.
Yeah.
In terms of the interview, right, start to finish,
Mhm.
beginning to end, did everything make sense? Because you see how I was going in the line, and did you learn anything new from the interview?
Yes, everything made sense, and I enjoyed the interview and the conversation.
Okay.
And yes, I learned a little bit more about
Reflexology.
reflexology.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have, like, this is like the whole reason why I like talk about reflexology, because it's somebody asked me like, well, why are you talking about that? And I'm just like, because a lot of people don't know about it, and we go out and we take all these different, over-the-counter medicines and things like that we think is helping us, but it's like it's something that's not natural. And so if you have a natural way to like try to like alleviate some of those things, why not use it? So appreciate that. So the last thing I ask everyone to do does the interview process, something from a mental health standpoint that you can say to my channel, maybe a life lesson that you learned or some wise, words of wisdom that you have that you can say to everybody that can be helpful to them.
Just enjoy life. Like we just have this one anyway. So, just find things that you can enjoy. There's going to be hard times, and as long as you can shift to a place of finding something that brings you joy, then that's what life's about.
That's absolutely right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time to like come through and like do the interview with us.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have a great day. Okay.
Yes, you too.
All right.